In 2007, John Paulson didn't earn $4 billion by chance. His gains came from anticipating what others failed to see. While panic spread across the market, he positioned himself into a single asset that paid off massively. Years later, in 2020, Ray Dalio publicly encouraged investors to reallocate part of their portfolios into tangible assets, doing so carefully and with long-term intent. Fast forward to 2025, and the same behavior is unfolding again. Today's wealthiest individuals are quietly shifting billions into three particular assets, moving with precision rather than noise. This isn't a recommendation to invest. It's about recognizing repeating patterns. What follows is a breakdown of what's being accumulated, the reasons behind it, and what these moves could signal as we approach 2027. To understand what's happening now, we need to revisit the playbook from 2008. Go back to 2006. As home prices climbed and everyday buyers celebrated rising equity, a very different story was developing behind the scenes. Michael Burry was purchasing insurance that would pay out if the housing market collapsed. At the same time, Goldman Sachs was betting against the very mortgages it continued selling to clients. Meanwhile, George Soros was steadily adding gold to his holdings. A clear trend emerged. Capital wasn't flowing into growth assets. It was flowing into protection. When September 2008 arrived, Lehman Brothers fell. The S&P 500 lost more than half its value. Trillions evaporated from retirement accounts and portfolios. Yet Paulson walked away billions richer, and Burry delivered nearly a 500% return in a single year. Those outcomes weren't accidental. The warning signs were visible. Debt had reached unprecedented levels. Banks were leveraged at ratios as extreme as 30-to-1. The same indicators flashing back then are reappearing in 2025. What's unsettling is that the information was publicly available. Only a small group chose to act. The key difference between survival and collapse came down to understanding which assets endure when systems break. Now, compare that moment to today. The similarities are striking. Global debt has climbed to roughly $315 trillion, representing more than 330% of worldwide GDP, the highest level ever recorded. Before the 2008 crash, that figure sat closer to 278%. The reality is simple. This level of debt cannot be repaid. It can only be erased through defaults or diluted through inflation. Recent activity tells a story. Ray Dalio has expanded his gold exposure and continues to recommend allocating 10 to 15% of portfolios to it. Stanley Druckenmiller has acquired farmland across multiple U.S. states. Bill Gates now owns over 269,000 acres, making him the largest private farmland holder in America. These moves aren't random. They follow a consistent strategy. Central banks reinforce the signal. In 2023 alone, more than 1,000 tons of gold were purchased globally, continuing the historic buying surge that began in 2022, when over 1,100 tons were added, the largest annual accumulation in more than 5 decades. China, Russia, Turkey, Poland, and Singapore aren't increasing stock exposure. They aren't loading up on bonds. They're choosing physical assets. When monetary authorities behave this way, it matters. At the same time, corporate insiders are selling aggressively. Executives and board members are reducing their own company holdings at levels not seen since 2007. Jeff Bezos sold more than $13 billion worth of Amazon shares through 2024 and 2025. Mark Zuckerberg has unloaded billions in Meta stock. Nvidia executives sold shares even as prices reached new highs. By January 2025, the ratio of shares sold versus bought reached 4.5 to 1. They're not guessing. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway now holds over $325 billion in cash, the largest reserve in company history. Buffett has been trimming equity positions, including reducing Apple, while favoring treasury bills. When the most disciplined investor alive prioritizes liquidity over growth, it reveals where we stand in the cycle. Here's the reality. The same warning signals that appeared before the 2008 collapse are active again. So what exactly are billionaires accumulating? First, it isn't mining stocks or ETFs. It's physical gold. Dalio calls it the most effective hedge across environments. Mark Mobius has stated that everyone should keep roughly 10% of their wealth in gold stored securely. The reasoning is straightforward. Gold survives currency failure. In 1923 Germany, the mark collapsed, yet a single gold coin could still purchase a home. When Argentina's peso lost 75% of its value in 2001, gold holders preserved purchasing power. History repeats this lesson every time. Today's gold accumulation is unmatched in over 50 years. Central banks are choosing metal over their own printed currency. That alone speaks volumes. Coins or small bars stored outside the banking system are the preference, typically making up 5 to 10% of total assets. The second asset is land. Bill Gates' acreage isn't symbolic. Jeff Bezos purchased a massive Texas ranch. The Resnick family controls vast agricultural holdings. The reason is simple. Land produces food. During systemic crises, food becomes a medium of exchange. During the Great Depression, farmers endured while city workers struggled. In Venezuela, rural landowners preserved stability as urban wealth evaporated. Productive land generates value regardless of financial markets. Crops, livestock, and timber don't require functioning banks. Population growth continues. Arable land shrinks. Water access becomes critical. Demand only rises. Ideal investments are farmland with reliable water, proximity to growing populations, and the ability to generate yield. For those without direct capital, agricultural REITs or farmland-focused ETFs offer exposure. The third category is essential commodities. Berkshire Hathaway's ownership of major rail infrastructure reflects this logic. It transports grain, energy, and raw materials. Druckenmiller's positions in materials and energy reflect the same thinking. In every major collapse, essentials retain value. During hyperinflation in Weimar Germany, coal became more valuable than paper currency. Energy systems, water rights, industrial metals, and agricultural inputs fall into this group. These are not speculative assets. They support survival. Companies involved in energy infrastructure, water utilities, copper, lithium, nickel, and food production consistently hold relevance, regardless of economic conditions. Based on historical patterns, here's what likely follows. Inflation persists. Interest rates remain elevated. Market volatility intensifies. Capital continues rotating into hard assets. Key signals to monitor include gold sustaining levels above $2,500, farmland prices accelerating, commodities rising even during economic slowdowns, tightening credit conditions, and increased banking stress. Government intervention may arrive, but it rarely reverses momentum. Emergency central bank actions, loosened reserve requirements, and currency volatility typically appear near inflection points. Ultimately, outcomes narrow to two paths: inflation severe enough to erode debt or deflation triggered by collapse. In both cases, paper assets struggle. Tangible assets endure. What actions align with this environment? Allocating 5 to 10% of liquid assets into physical gold. Exploring farmland exposure through REITs if direct ownership isn't feasible. Building positions in energy, water, and essential commodity producers with strong balance sheets. Reducing exposure to heavily leveraged assets, particularly high valuation equities and long duration bonds. History offers clarity. In 2008, hard asset holders preserved wealth. In 1929, productive landowners survived. Approaching 2027, the same assets appear positioned to protect value again. This isn't guesswork, it's repetition. Billionaires aren't reallocating capital by coincidence. Dalio, Gates, Buffett, Druckenmiller, and Bezos follow data, not headlines. Time still exists, but windows close quietly. This content is educational and based on historical trends and publicly available information. It is not financial advice. All investments carry risk, including volatility, liquidity constraints, storage costs, and potential loss. Always conduct independent research and consult licensed professionals. Never invest funds you cannot afford to lose. If this revealed something new, consider subscribing. Over the coming months, every signal, shift, and major move will be tracked. The pattern has never failed to repeat.